Hey guys, in my little series here to educate you about fishing, some of you have been asking me lots of questions about jigs. What kind of jig do you use on the surface for barracuda, calico bass? What type of jig do you use for lingcod? What kind of jig do you use for yellowtail fishing, tuna fishing, all that kind of stuff? So I just want to give you basics. There's basically two styles of jigs, what you need to know about: the surface jig and the jig for everything else. It doesn't matter if you're yo-yo fishing in the middle for yellowtail, if you're going all the way to the bottom to catch lingcod and big rockfish like like red snapper or stuff like that. For all that kind of fishing, it really depends on the jig you're using, and these jigs are very specific. A surface jig is going to be a light jig, and that's like this. This is a MM7 jig. Made by Magic Metals. It's a great jig, especially for brand new anglers that just have spinning rods and they don't have a big 9 or 10 foot pole to throw a jig on the surface to catch barracuda or calico bass, even bonita sometimes. These jigs are made out of plastic. They have rattles in them. You can hear the rattles in it, and that really attracts the fish. Now, a key you need to know about these type of jigs, other than that they are light, they are pretty light, is that when you see a jig like this, you'll notice that it's got a flat edge and a belly on it. When you see a jig with a belly on it, that tells you that jig is designed to cast out far and wind it slowly back in. Now, the speed that you use all depends on the reel, the gear ratio, and how fast you're turning the handle. So you need to practice that a few times to get it to the right speed. And every jig will swim a little bit different. So some you'll have to go a little bit faster, some a little bit slower, but you don't want to wind a jig like this with the belly really fast. If you do, it's going to come in a straight line and you're not going to catch anything. The whole trick behind this jig is cast it out far and make it look like a crippled bait. Make it swing side to side right up on the surface, and those barracuda will explode on it. Calico bass will explode on it. It works out really good. Fish that want a fast bait like tuna, yellowtail, they're not that aggressive on surface jigs like that. They really want something that's going to dart, trying to get away from them, not looking crippled, but looks like it's healthy and trying to run from them. And that would be a jig like this. This is a Magic Metal jig. This is a 4.5 ounce model. And this is designed to throw out away from you. Again, you're going to cast as far as you can. You're going to let this one sink, maybe a count of 5 or 10, and then you're going to grind it back as fast as you can. This is the one time you want to use a high-speed reel, but even with a slower speed reel, you can crank it really fast and make that thing dart right to you. Don't be afraid that you're going to wind it so fast that the fish won't be able to catch it up, because tuna and yellowtail have no problem running it down and eating it. To them, it just looks like a bait fish running away from them, and they're going to track it down and eat it. So that's the basic things. Now, for bottom fishing right up on the bottom, I like to use like glow-in-the-dark colors, or chrome seems to work really good. But glow-in-the-dark, this again is a Magic Metal jig, an 8 ounce, and this would probably be the lightest I would use on the bottom. Most places that I'm fishing, I'm using up to 10 ounces, and just get that all the way to the bottom, hit the bottom, crank it up 3 or 4 cranks, stop it, and let it flutter back down, and that's what the lingcod like to hit. The smaller bank perch and stuff will be suspended higher up, but normally when I'm fishing a jig, I'm just looking for that one big fish, a big lingcod, big rockfish, so I'm fishing right along the rocks, right on the bottom. And you can always tell when you're on the bottom because there's no more line coming off your reel. Your jig's actually sitting on the bottom. And again, just crank it up a few cranks, let it stop and let it flutter down. And as you drift over an area, you're going to find the fish eventually, and they're going to bite it. And using these bigger jigs like this, any of these jigs, it doesn't matter if you're barracuda fishing, tuna fishing, or especially lingcod fishing, when you use an artificial like this, you're going to catch bigger fish than you will with just using strips of bait. All right, that's a basic thing I just want to share with you guys today. Thanks for watching today's little video blog. If you have other subjects you want me to talk about, please list them down below and leave your comments, and I'll try to answer them for you. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.